Chapter 2. Jump, Beasts, Jump. Bright light flooded the tree house again. A rustling sound came from outside the window. Annie peeked out and laughed. "Hey there," she said. Jack looked out too. A giraffe was eating leaves on the tree. It had a sweet, goofy face. Jack looked at the world beyond the giraffe, and he couldn't believe his eyes. He saw huge grassy plains, a wide river, and tons of birds and animals. Remember, this is the type of plane that is the big grassy field, not the type of plane that we fly in. Jack saw more animals than he had ever imagined in one place. There were giraffes and zebras on the other side of the river. There were the Thompson gazelles and the bighorn animals on the opposite side of where Jack and Annie were. "But where were the lions?" said Jack. "I don't know," said Annie. "Do you think it's always this crowded?" "Well, let's find out," said Jack. He picked up his book on Africa and looked at the picture of the animals and read the caption from underneath the picture. "Every year in late spring, thousands of zebras and gazelles and millions of wildebeests migrate from the plains of Tanzania to Kenya." "What does migrate mean?" asked Annie. Jack pushed his glasses into place. "It means they go somewhere else for part of the year. Like birds going south for the winter." "Oh, right," said Annie. Jack turned the page and read more. "Before they are safe in Kenya, the animals must first cross the Mara River. Zebras go first, then the wildebeest, and then the tiny gazelles swim last." "Oh," said Annie in a sad voice. "What's wrong?" said Jack. "Poor beasts." She looked out the window. "They seem so afraid." On the far side of the river, the horned animals were standing at the edge of the steep bank of the river. They stared down nervously at the rushing water. "Jump, beasts, jump!" Annie shouted. "Oh, don't be silly," Jack said. "They can't hear you." He studied the broad plain harder. I wonder where the lions are," he said. "I don't know, but I have to go," said Annie. "Go where?" said Jack. "To the river, to go and help them," said Annie. "Help who?" said Jack. "Those wild beasts on the other side," said Annie. "I have to help them migrate." "Are you nuts?" said Jack. Annie handed Jack the scroll and started out the treehouse. "Wait a second," said Jack. "We haven't even read Morgan's riddle yet." Annie stopped on the ladder. "All right, hurry up, Jack. Read it now," she said. Jack unrolled the ancient scroll and read the riddle out loud. "I'm the color of gold and as sweet as can be, but beware of the danger that's all around me. What am I?" I'm going to read the riddle again. "I'm the color of gold and as sweet as can be, but beware of the danger that's all around me. What am I?" I hope you're thinking about what your answer is. Make your prediction and write it down if you have one, because we're going to find out the answer at the end of the story. Annie started down the rope ladder again. "Annie, we'll have to look for the answer in a minute," said Annie. "What are you doing?" Jack called. But there was no stopping her. Jack watched as she hopped off the ladder. Then she started to walk through the tall grass, between the zebras and giraffes. "Oh, I don't believe her," he said to himself. He quickly put the Africa book into his backpack and started down the ladder. When he stepped onto the ground, he looked around carefully. The giraffes were eating the tree leaves. The zebras were grazing in the grass. Tons of birds flapped overhead. This is okay, he thought. He just had one little question. Where are the lions? Chapter 3, Disaster. So yesterday I asked you to predict what Chapter 2 was about, Jump, Beast, Jump. And we found out that the title was Annie helping the animals try to get across the river. So she was yelling at them to jump, beasts, jump. So Chapter 3 is called Disaster. What's your prediction for today? What do you think tomorrow's chapter is going to be about? Talk with an adult at home and tell them what you think the chapter Disaster will be about. I'll see you tomorrow for Chapter 3, Disaster.